In the quiet village of Nneka, nestled between red earth hills and whispering forest, there lived a girl named Adanne. Adanne was not just any girl. She had eyes like morning dew, soft, clear, and full of kindness. Her skin was the color of rich cocoa, and her laughter sounded like birds singing at sunrise. Everyone in the village loved her, especially her father, Obi, a gentle farmer who grew yams taller than a man, but Adanne's mother had gone to the ancestors when Adanne was only 5. After 2 rainy seasons of silence and sorrow, Obi married again. Her name was Nneka. Nneka was beautiful, but her beauty was like a thorn wrapped in silk. Her smile never reached her eyes. She wore fine wrappers and gold beads, but her heart was dry like old leaves in harmattan wind. From the day Nneka stepped into their home, everything changed. She made Adanne sweep the compound before sunrise, fetch water from the far well, and cook meals while her own 2 children, Chike and Amora, played in the shade, eating roasted plantains and laughing, "Why must I do all the work?" Adanne once asked, her small hands blistered from scrubbing pots. Nneka's eyes narrowed. "Because you are nothing but a shadow in this house. My children are the light." Adanne cried that night, but she said nothing to her father. Obi worked hard in the fields and came home tired. She didn't want to add to his worries. But Nneka's jealousy grew like a weed in fertile soil. You see, the villagers still brought gifts to Adanne, fresh mangoes, woven baskets, even a little goat once, because they remembered her mother's kindness and saw it in her. They praised Adanne's gentle spirit, her neat braids, her sweet voice when she sang lullabies to the neighbors' babies. Nneka couldn't stand it. "She steals the love that should belong to my children," she hissed one night to the moon, her fingers twisting her wrapper in rage. And so, on a moonless night, when even the crickets were silent, Nneka wrapped herself in a blade shawl and crept through the forest to the edge of the village. There, deep in the woods where the trees leaned close like gossiping elders, lived Dibia Okoro, the native doctor. His hut was made of mud and thatch, surrounded by bones, dried herbs, and strange bottles filled with murky liquids. Smoke curled from his fire, smelling of bitter roots and secrets. Nneka knocked 3 times. The door creaked open. Dibia Okoro stood there, his eyes milky white but sharp as knives. "I knew you would come," he said, his voice like dry leaves scraping stone. "I want my stepdaughter gone," Nneka whispered. "Not dead, no, that would bring shame. But ruined. Let her beauty fade. Let her be forgotten. Let misfortune cling to her like mud to a dog's paw." Dibia Okoro studied her. "Such evil comes with a price." "I will pay anything," Nneka said, her voice trembling with greed. The Dibia nodded slowly. He reached into a clay pot and pulled out a small, black seed, shiny, cold, and shaped like a teardrop. "This is ogwogu seed," he said. "Plant it beneath the Baobab tree at midnight. Water it with your tears of hatred. When it sprouts, blow your breath on its leaves and whisper your wish. But beware, what you send out into the world will one day return to you, multiplied." Nneka laughed. "Let it return. I don't care. As long as Adanne suffers." She took the seed and hurried home, her heart pounding like war drums. That very night, under the cover of darkness, she dug a small hole beneath the great Baobab tree, the oldest tree in Nneka, said to hold the spirits of the ancestors. She planted the seed, wept bitter tears of envy, and whispered, "May Adanne lose everything. May she be ugly, alone, and cursed." For weeks, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the curse began. First, Adanne's hair, once thick and glossy, started falling out in clumps. She woke up with patches on her scalp. The village children pointed and laughed. "Look. Adanne looks like a sick chicken." Then her skin thickened. Then her skin broke out in red sores. No medicine helped. Even the village healer shook his head. "This is not sickness of the body," he murmured. "This is sickness of the spirit." Worst of all, people began to avoid her. They crossed the street when she walked by. Even her father, Obi, looked at her with sad, confused eyes. "What is happening to you, my child?" he asked, but Adanne had no answer. She cried every night, hugging her knees in the corner of the hut, wondering what she had done wrong. Nneka watched it all with secret joy. She fed her children sweet yams and told them, "See, the gods favor those who are strong. Adanne is weak. That's why she suffers." But deep in the forest, beneath the baobab, something strange was happening. The ogwogu seed had sprouted, but not into a normal plant. It grew twisted vines with thorns like needles. Its leaves were black as night, and at its center bloomed a single flower that glowed faintly in the dark, like a dying ember, and every time Nneka passed the baobab, the wind would whisper her name. She ignored it. One evening, as the sun bled red over the hills, Adanne sat by the river, washing her face. She looked at her reflection, her eyes still kind, but her face scarred, her hair thin. "I didn't do anything wrong," she whispered to the water. "Why is this happening?" Just then, an old woman appeared on the bank. She wore tattered cloth and carried a basket of herbs. Her face was wrinkled like old bark, but her eyes were warm. "You are not cursed, child," the woman said softly. Adanne gasped. "How do you know?" "The baobab told me," the woman replied. "I am Mama Nkiru, keeper of the old ways. I watch over this land." She sat beside Adanne and took her hand. "Evil has been planted against you. But evil cannot grow where truth is spoken. What can I do?" Adanne asked, tears falling into the river. "Go to the baobab tonight," Mama Nkiru said. "Not to fight the curse, but to speak your truth beneath its branches. The ancestors listen when the heart is pure." That night, Adanne crept to the baobab. The black flower paused like a heartbeat. She knelt and spoke clearly, though her voice shook. "I am Adanne, daughter of Obi and Eneni Ojeki. I have done no harm. I love my father. I share my food. I help the old women carry firewood. If someone has sent evil to me, I do not wish it back. I only ask for peace." As she spoke, a warm wind swirled around the tree. The black flower trembled, then crumbled into dust, but the vines remained. Mama Nkiru appeared from the shadows. "The curse is broken for you," she said. "But the plant still lives, because the one who planted it has not repented." Adanne nodded. "I forgive her," she whispered. "Even if she does not deserve it." Mama Nkiru smiled. "That, child, is true power." Days passed. Adanne's sores began to heal. Her hair grew back, soft and curly. The villagers noticed. They brought her gifts again. Obi hugged her tightly and wept. "My daughter is back," he said. Nneka watched, furious. "How?" she screamed in her heart. "How is she healed?" The curse was strong. She ran to the baobab that night, ready to plant another seed, but the vines had grown thick and curled like snakes. They slithered toward her as she approached. "Foolish woman," a voice echoed, not from the tree, but from the wind itself. It sounded like many voices, old men, women, children. "The ancestors, you sent evil into the world," the wind said. "Now it returns." Nneka tried to run, but the vines wrapped around her ankles. She fell. From the ground, she saw her own reflection in a puddle, and screamed. Her beautiful face was changing. Her skin darkened with ugly blotches. Her hair fell out in chunks. Her eyes, once sharp with cunning, grew dull and cloudy. "No," she wailed. "Not me. Not my children." But the curse did not listen. The next morning, the whole village, Nneka stood in the compound, disfigured and trembling. Beside her, Chak and Amora scratched at their arms, a red sore spreading fast. "What happened?" Obi asked, horrified. Nneka collapsed to her knees. I went to Dibia Okoro. I planted the ogwogu seed. I wished evil on Adanne." Gasps filled the air. Obi's face turned ashen. You cursed my daughter. I was jealous. Nneka sobbed. Everyone loved her. No one saw me. Adanne stepped forward. She looked at Nneka, not with anger, but with pity. You hurt me, Adanne said softly. But I won't hurt you back. Mama Nkeru taught me that evil only grows when we feed it. She turned to the villagers. Please. Help them. They are sick. Even though Nneka had been cruel, the villagers were kind. They brought herbs, clean water, and soft cloths. They cared for Nneka and her children, even as their own families whispered warnings. Weeks passed, Nneka's body healed slowly, but her heart. That took longer. One evening, as the sun set, she found Adanne sitting under the Baobab, braiding flowers into a crown. Why did you help us? Nneka asked, her voice hoarse. Adanne looked up. Because hate only makes more hate. Love breaks the chain. Nneka wept, real tears this time, not tears of jealousy, but of shame. I don't deserve your kindness, she whispered. Maybe not, Adanne said gently. But everyone deserves a chance to change. From that day on, Nneka worked harder than Adanne ever had. She swept the compound, fetched water, cooked for everyone, not just her children. She apologized to the elders. She even gave her gold beads to the poor. Slowly, the village forgave her, but the baobab tree, it never bore fruit again, and on quiet nights, if you stand beneath its branches, you can still hear the wind whisper, what you send out returns. Multiplied.